When you're running after a car thief at 5 in the morning, wearing an old pair of Toms and very loose shorts, you know this is a day you're going to remember. Earlier than that, about 4:30 in the morning, my dad wakes me up holding a bat. Now I know this is serious, not only because he's holding a bat, but also because he's waking me up at 4:30 in the morning. I am a terrible morning person, and if my dad's waking me up at this time, then something is seriously wrong. He wakes me up, he shakes me by the shoulders and he goes, "Alfie, I think someone's trying to break into the house. I've just heard them banging on the front door and I think I saw someone climb over into the back garden." Now I'm alert. I am really alert. And the two of us head downstairs. And my dad bravely sends me outside on my own to look around the garden to try and find this guy. It's pretty dark out there, but I have a torch and I wander around and I can't see anything. I'm fairly certain no one's there. The adrenaline rush goes down, I calm down and I get ready to go back to sleep until my dad shouts out. He says, "Come to the front road now." So I run out to the front road. And as I get there, I see that our opposite neighbour's front gate has been smashed to pieces and it's all over the road. Also, their SUV is missing and their front door is wide open. This has suddenly gone from being a mild inconvenience that woke me up way too early to being a serious problem. My dad and I ran over to the open door and we shouted up. There was an elderly couple who lived there and we expected to hear something back, but when we didn't, we got worried. We shouted a couple more times and still nothing. We were really worried now, so my dad called the police. But as he was doing so, luckily the elderly couple walked downstairs. They were fine. I don't know what I was expecting. I mean, this is a small, nice town in England. It's not exactly a hotbed for violent crime, but my first thoughts were pretty bad. And as they came down, they were pretty damn annoyed about their SUV being gone and their front gate being smashed through, understandably. But they were far happier that their brand new Mercedes sports car was untouched. So we spoke to them, we made sure they were okay, we tried to figure out what was going on. And as we spoke to them, someone realised that the lights of their Mercedes were flashing. And we all turned round and we saw a guy standing there in front of the Mercedes with the car keys. He was trying to get in. This was the car thief. This was the guy who had stolen their SUV and had tried to break into our house. He had come back, despite having a clean getaway, to try and steal this Mercedes. As he fiddled with the keys, he and I locked eyes and he immediately ran. As he ran, I immediately went straight after him. Now I can't say why I ran after him. Maybe it's because I'm the middle child of 5 and I'm constantly trying to impress people. Or maybe it's that I've just seen way too many action films. Probably the latter. Either way, I was running and this was exciting. However, this grand chase did not go on for very long. This guy was not in very good shape, and despite being a skinny guy, he was very slow. About 200 meters down the road, I caught up with him. I didn't have to tackle him, I didn't have to restrain him or anything. He was so tired that he could barely stand up. As I came to him, he was leaning over on his legs going, "Fuck off, mate. Fuck off or I will batter you. I will knock you out if you don't fuck off." I wasn't too worried. There was a few other threats in between him trying to catch his breath. And then he even threw a punch, a very uncoordinated punch. It wasn't really much to worry about. It was clear that he was fairly drunk. But now, I didn't know what to do. My original thoughts are I'd have to tackle him or restrain him or something, but he had kind of just restrained himself. He was so tired, he could barely move, he couldn't do anything. I knew the police were coming. I knew that this guy wasn't going anywhere, he was too tired. So my thoughts were just to keep him there. I also wasn't too sure how a citizen's arrest worked. So I ended up just walking down the road with him. As we walked down the road together, it must have been a fairly strange sight. Every now and again he would try and attack me, throw a couple of punches, but as I said, it wasn't really an issue. He would also try to run every now and again, but he was too tired, so he'd only manage a few seconds. After a few more minutes of walking down the road, he suddenly ran, but this time he really went, he sprinted off. And I realised that the SUV he had stolen was just around the corner, and he was about to get in it. So I had to run now. I really sprinted after him, and I got there just in time. I managed to grab him just before he was about to drive away. I pulled him out of the car. He put up a bit of a fight, he swung a couple of times, but he was a smaller guy. So I was able to restrain him quite easily. And I ended up actually having to pick him up and carry him out to the main road and wait for the police. We waited there while I was holding him up. And then the police came and they took over. My action-adventure part was done. Now, despite the fact that this was probably the worst criminal in the world and the easiest to catch ever, I did in fact stop a criminal from stealing a car and getting away for free. I also saved the valuables, and because of my testimony and the fact that I caught him, this car thief also served some prison time. Now, I'm not saying it was the most heroic thing in the world, but that day I did save the day, and I did it all before 6 AM on a Sunday morning.